Oh, you didn't think Bitcoin was going to give us a green day yesterday, did you? No, Bitcoin was having none of that. It rolled right over, closed in an inverted hammer candle on not really heavy volume, but average volume, which is good volume. And here we are a little bit lower here today. So, welcome to your new normal, apparently. Fake higher moves and then little extensions to the downside. This has been happening continuously. Looks like it's going to continue happening as today we extend into new recent lows. And we've been doing that this entire downtrend. Nothing has really changed. And something's going to have to change if we're going to change the trajectory of this market. But so far, that's not happening. We're still looking for wherever the low part of this range is going to be, if there's going to be one. So far, low and slow like this makes things difficult from a technical perspective. There's really not a lot of distribution. There's really not a lot of accumulation or almost no accumulation, which is why the market's drifting lower because there's not a big rush to sell Bitcoin. There's also not a big rush to buy Bitcoin. So that leaves us floating. And that, puts us into a choppy market. And so that's where we are in a choppy market. On the intraday time frames, you can see here we've just been drifting our way lower once again today into a new recent low. Some support here even a little bit ago, but really not enough to pull anything up at all. As a matter of fact, if you look at that candle, we closed it, popped up just a little bit, and then just went right back down. And so now here we are, a small undercut and rally on this low. Are we going to be able to, hold it and come back up? I don't know. So far, nothing's really stopped the tide here. Everything's just given way to this lazy selling pressure. That's a good way to put it. Lazy selling pressure. So not much to do here with BTC, but what this has done, I'm not sure it's what this has done, but what's been happening is the whole market essentially right now is in a little bit of a floating correction or a floating bear market. We did have a couple days of extreme moves to the downside a few days ago on many altcoins, and those lows are being tested. We're in some decent shorting areas for some names, as a matter of fact, but they're few and far between. And what they're going to do is, pull people into trades and may even chop them out of those trades. So I don't think this is a great environment for longing or shorting, but the bias definitely is to the short side right now. All right, speaking of that, let's get to our hot coins of the day. These are the top 20 altcoins that are to the downside in the past 24 hours. Render here is one of those tokens. So here's that inverted hammer yesterday leading us down into today. And it's not a lot of downside pressure, but according to CoinMarketCap, this was down 7.5%. So not a tremendous drop, but definitely a drop. And again, kind of a lazy downtrend is pretty much what we're in on this and most tokens at this moment in time. So I think if you're looking to short, your stops are above yesterday's high. I was just alluding to that, but if you're looking to enter into a trade, I wouldn't do this one. 12.5% stop loss. You want to keep your stop losses in this environment, ideally less than 4%, maybe 5%. You don't want to go wide at all with stop losses because you're very likely to get stopped out. Market will bounce right back up and come right back down, bounce right back up and come right back down. So you're going to go through this cycle. Unless you catch it during these up moments, it's going to be difficult to put on positions and have a pretty safe stop loss percentage. All right, next up is Injective, which dropped 6.9%. Injective actually gave up a trend line. This is one of those larger drops a couple days ago. And if you look at yesterday's price action, really came out of nowhere, just kept going higher, and then also out of nowhere got slammed right back down. The volume signature here looking okay as it was trending upwards as we were going up. That is good, but then you end up with this highest volume candle with this candle that really isn't in anything. Candle really isn't, it's not a candlestick pattern, but you do get a large wick up here, then it just handily reverses. So your stops right now would be above there. And again, I would argue this is probably too deep of a stop to actually do anything with. So we're in an interesting market environment. Yeah, it's 12.3%. Interesting market environment where there's really not much to do, at least safely. Now you can play around and maybe make a little bit of money, maybe lose a little bit of money, but if you don't have an expectation of market direction to take a directional trade, then it's very risky to do anything while we're in this state. And so the best thing to do is really nothing. If you are looking to short, try to find a short with a good stop loss. Like I said, less than 4% would be ideal because if you're um, so one of the ones that I did have, let me see here. I think Bitcoin Cash still looked pretty good. Okay, that was weird. Bitcoin Cash still looked okay today for a short. a little deep. That's at about a 5% stop loss. If you gave it to today's high, you're about 4.5%. So this one still is okay. This one has a potential large move to the downside. We've discussed this on the channel before. Also, was it ICP as well? But here starting to move down, just starting to break down. You have a decent stop. This is maybe an opportunity. Some of these other ones, not so much. Okay, they're kind of tough to do. And ICP here, also with a large head and shoulders breakdown. We've talked this on the channel about a month or two ago. This finally broke that head and shoulders pattern to the downside. So again, you're in a situation where your bias is to the downside, but the better trades are still few and far between. And I think you do have to take these better trades if you're looking to take any trades. Otherwise, I don't say take any trades and wait for the correction to sort itself out. Hopefully, it doesn't turn into a full-blown bear market and we can reverse this higher at some point and finally go on the rally that everyone's kind of waiting for, as BTC here is poking into all-time highs, but yet hasn't fully broken through. All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a great day, and I will see you next week on Altcoin Buzz Trading.